What's up, family? We have some good news on the table that I want to share with you in regards to our Social Security recipients. Yes, this is going to affect millions of recipients that receive Social Security benefits. I also have an update in regards to the war in Gaza. Take a look at this right here, guys, where Social Security just came out earlier this week and stated that they did some recalculations in regards to how much money they have in the trust fund, and they found out that they have a little bit more than what they originally expected. In fact, Social Security is now expected to run short on the funds in the year of 2035, which is basically 1 year later than they previously had projected, according to the Treasury. Yes, it says that we are looking at a brighter economic outlook, which has helped push Social Security projected trust fund depletion date for another additional year. And experts are still saying that it is time for Congress to take action and prevent this looming shortfall of these funds in the trust fund for the Social Security beneficiaries. But anyways, the trust funds for the Social Security Administration relies on the pay benefits that are now projected to run out of money in the year 2035, which was previously announced that it would actually run out of money in the year of 2034. But things have actually changed, and it's looking a little bit brighter, just a little bit, guys, in regards to what we thought last year. So anyways, this is definitely some good information. Will they find more money? Will they figure out that this can actually last us for longer than the year of 2035? We don't necessarily know as of yet, but it could actually happen. And this is definitely important because Congress continues to fail the American people because they refuse to bring this to a vote in the House and the Senate. So again, guys, this is definitely some good information. Not necessarily the best what we would like to hear, but at least we know that funds are going to last just a little bit longer. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the war that is happening still in Gaza, in which Israel continues to pound the Gaza area, and this whole protest in regards to the pro-Palestinians. Yes, guys, let's just go ahead and briefly talk about that right here. The White House earlier this week, they announced that Israel and Hamas have now put a hostage deal on the table in which they could reach this at any given moment within the next 48 hours or so. Well, in fact, originally we heard the announcement earlier this week that stated that there has been a ceasefire in the Gaza area, which a lot of people were screaming praise all together because the war, the devastation was going to end rather quickly. Yes, the Biden administration announced this earlier this week, and that was a hostage deal, and ceasefire negotiations were close to being put to a deal, saying that it was in reach. Guys, they were very close to reaching this particular deal, which you would think that they would go ahead and proceed with the ceasefire. However, that didn't necessarily happen. Israel ended up moving into the eastern area of Rafah and ended up launching an attack in this particular area. This was an Israel assault in the Gaza city called Rafah. And yes, guys, Israel ended up launching strikes on eastern Rafah amid the confusion over the ceasefire negotiations. Tanks reportedly seen on the outskirts of the city. Israel ended up carrying out these airstrikes and issuing orders for evacuation of 100,000 Palestinians from part of the city earlier on Monday, triggering an exodus of thousands of people. There were reports of Israel tanks being seen on the eastern outskirts of Rafah, and the Palestinian security official and an Egyptian official said that they had reached as close as 200 meters from Rafah's crossings from the neighboring Egypt. So yes, like I said, this was rather strange because everyone was thinking that this particular deal on the table had been accepted from both parties, in which they were just shocked to find out that Israel Israel had launched this attack in this other eastern area of Gaza called Rafah, in which thousands ended up having to leave and thousands ended up getting hurt as well. This was really shocking if you actually think about it. And like I said, in regards to the confusion, the reason is why, because Hamas had actually accepted this particular proposal from Israel in regards to the ceasefire. Hamas actually accepted it, but Israel says that they didn't necessarily get that information, so therefore they was proceeding as usual. Yes, it says right here that Hamas says that it accepted this particular Egyptian Qatar ceasefire proposal to halt the months-long war with Israel. The militant group issued a statement on Monday saying that its supreme leader, Ismail Haniyeh, had delivered the news in a phone call with Qatar's prime minister. And the prime minister, Benjamin, office said that the proposal was far from Israel's essential demands, but that it would nonetheless send negotiators to continue the talks on the ceasefire agreement. Although Hamas' proposal is far from their necessary requirements, Israel will send a delegation of working-class mediators to exhaust the possibility of reaching an agreement under conditions acceptable to Israel. So yes, guys, to sum that all up, Hamas said that they would actually accept the deal. However, Israel felt like some of their requirements were not necessarily met in the acceptance letter directly from Hamas. So therefore, they felt like the negotiations were still on the table, and they didn't feel like they needed to do anything other than wait for Hamas to go ahead and accept these particular requirements or these particular demands. And that is why Israel continued on as they were planning on doing from the get-go, in which they ended up moving into this other area, Rafah, and they ended up striking there as well. So this was rather shocking. We don't necessarily know where or how this particular deal is sitting right now. We haven't heard any word, but we are still waiting to see how the negotiations are proceeding, what is going on, what they plan to do in the meantime. And I would only assume that Israel is going to continue to pound these particular areas in the Gaza area until a ceasefire deal or negotiation is signed. That is what it's going to take, guys. So anyways, originally we thought this was some good news, and it looks like things are going as usual. The war continues. People are afraid. People are moving out in thousands, just trying to move away from this devastation that is going on in the Gaza area. So anyways, guys, I will keep you posted as usual. But moving on to our last piece of information today, I do want to go ahead and let you know on some breaking news in regards to the former president Donald Trump, in which he received a huge victory message on Tuesday. Take a look at this right here, guys, where Donald Trump receives a major message from the judge in regards to one of his particular cases that is going on right now in relation to the classified documents, you know, the ones that he took from the White House and never returned them. Well, the judge came down and said, look, I'm going to give a major victory to Donald Trump, and this is what I have planned. Yes, Judge Alan Cannon on Tuesday indefinitely proposed the former president Donald Trump's classified documents trial in the state of Florida. He said, look, in an order, Cannon wrote that the trial start date, originally scheduled for May the 20th, is delayed in order to address issues concerning classified evidence that need to be resolved before the federal criminal case can be presented before a jury. She did not set a new date, but she did state that she is postponing this indefinitely. Yes, Cannon wrote in the filing that finalization of a trial date at this particular juncture would be imprudent and inconsistent with the court's duty to fully and fairly consider the various pending pretrial motions before the court. Therefore, that particular trial that was scheduled for next week has been postponed indefinitely. This is a huge win for Donald Trump as well as the Trump administration in regards to his lawyers, because as we know, he is actually dealing with another trial right now. So this is very bright. This is very good news for the former president, and I would only assume that he is definitely elated from this information. So anyways, guys, this is the same thing that happened to Biden's information in regards to his particular documents trial as well. So now the current president as well as the former president, in relation to their documents case, they have been postponed to a future date, which we don't necessarily know that at this particular time. So anyways, guys, this is a huge win for Donald Trump, and kudos to him for that. However, like I said, he is still in court right now in regards to the hush money, and we don't necessarily know how long this case is going to last. But anyways, guys, I will keep you posted as usual. Outside of all of that, you already know what to do. Be sure to comment down below, as well as hit the like button on this video. It really helps us out. And then also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps out the channel. It helps us grow as well. And outside of that, guys, I hope to see you on the next video.